Hi, welcome to Monday's Math. This is our first day of distant learning through YouTube. So if there's any problems, please let me know and I will be happy to answer them. Today we are going to go over multiplication, division, and fact families, and then you will have an assignment on edulastic if you are doing it online, and you will, if not, and you're doing the paper-based version, you will have the same one that people that are doing edulastic are. Yours is just paper-based. So let's get started. So let's start with multiplication and division. Just as a refresher, we're going to go over the vocab words as well that we use during both of them, just to refresh our memory. So when you're multiplying, the first two numbers that you multiply by are called your factors. So anything that you multiply by are called factors, and then your answer to a multiplication problem is called your product. So those might be words that you are finding in word problems, and then those are key words to help you know that you need to multiply. Some ways that you can find your answer in multiplication. The first one is an array. So if we took 4, because that's our first number, and we did 4 rows, remember rows go this way, columns go this way, so you make 4 rows with 2 in each, or 2 columns, and then if you counted them all up, that would equal your product of 8. So that is one way that you can find your answer to a multiplication problem if you're having difficulty. Another way is you can skip count. You can skip count by this first number. So this first number is 4, so I'm going to skip count by 4 twice. So 4, 8. And I only counted it 2 times because the second number was 2. Then your answer would be the number that you end up on. Another one is repeated addition. You could add the first number together by as many as this number is. So I added 4 together 2 times because my first number was 4 and this was 2. So when I add 4 plus 4, that's going to get you to your answer of 8. The last one I have for you is to draw a picture. You could make 4 groups, and then you could put 2 circles in each group. So let's say you had a word problem, and your word problem said 4 plates with 2 cookies on each plate. So that would be my 4 plates, 2 cookies on each, for a total of 8 cookies. Remember, we circle the numbers and underline keywords in each problem. Totally fine if you have already memorized all of your multiplication facts, and you don't need to use any of these. These are just here for you if you would like a little refresher, or you need another way to find the answer to multiplication. So feel free to use any of these. Feel free to take your notes. This would be a really great time to do that. Let's move over to division. Sorry. Okay. So for division, sorry, I thought I paused it. Okay, so for division, some keywords that we need to go over are dividend, divisor, and quotient. So the dividend is always going to be the biggest number, or the number that goes first. Then the division sign, your divisor is going to be the second number here. And then your answer to a division problem is called your quotient. So when we, let's see, we'll go through it. So there's a few ways that we can solve to find a division problem if you do not have your facts memorized. The first one is to skip count by the divisor until you get to the dividend. So that means that I can skip count by 5. If I didn't know this answer was 6, I could skip count by 5 until I get to 30, and then how many times I skip counted by would be my answer. So for example, I skip count by 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and I stop at 30. Ooh, I'm so sorry. I stop at 30 because that is our dividend. When I write it down, I skip counted 6 times, which means my answer or my quotient to the division problem is going to be 6. Another way you could do it was you can flip your division problem to a multiplication problem and find the answer that way. So if it was 30 divided by 5, and we didn't know our answer, we could flip to multiplication. The divisor, or the second number here, would become your first number in multiplication. So this is your groups or your rows, and then your question mark will come here, so your quotient becomes a factor in multiplication, and then your dividend becomes the answer or the product to your multiplication problem. So 5 times what equals 30? And then you can find that out by skip counting by 5s. And then you would come up with 6 again to go there. The third way we could do it is you could draw a picture of 5 groups and put 1 dot in each group until you get to 30. So I left this one blank so that we can do it together. Hopefully you are doing it on your paper. So I've drawn 5 groups because if I go back up here, 5 was my divisor. I need to put 30 dots into these 5 groups down here, not 30 into each one, but I need to spread them out equally into each group. So I would start by going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I'm still not there yet because I have to get to 30, so I'm going to keep going. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Now I'm at 30, so now I need to count how many circles or dots I put into each, how many dots I put into each circle, and that will become my quotient or my answer in the division problem up here. Okay, so when I count them, I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And just to make sure, I'd count each of them so that they have an equal number, because in division and multiplication, you have to work with equal numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now that they're all equal, I know I did this problem correctly and that my quotient is 6. So moving over to fact families, I'm going to swivel you over here. Now we are going to work and do this together so that you can see the difference between multiplication and division and how they also can work together. So I have the numbers 4, 8, and 32. I do know that if I multiply 4 times 8, that's going to get me to 32. When I use the communicative property of multiplication, or the flip-flop, we know that you can flip this, that 8 times 4 is going to equal 32. So I took the factors and I multiplied them to come up with a product. Now, when I flip it to division, the biggest number is always going to go first. So I know that both of these are going to be 32 because that's the biggest number out of these 3. Then you will use either one first. So we can start with 4, and we know that that's going to be 8. Then if you use the communicative property of division, you know that 32 will stay here, 8 will come here, and 4 will come here. So I am going to challenge you now to draw another one on your papers, and I will give you another fact family, and then I'd like you to fill it in on your papers before you get started on the edulastic account. So the numbers I'm going to give you are 3, 9, and 27. So please fill that in now. You can pause me, and you can finish this up when you're done. Please unpause me when you're done with that. So today I kind of wanted to just show you quickly what it would look like for you guys to who are working on Edulastic. So, this is what you are going to see when you log into Edulastic. You will take the math, it's called Monday 323 Multiplication and Division Review. You will log into it, and I wanted to show you how this works so that we don't have any confusion. It will open you automatically on number 1. When you find the answer to 5 times 8, you will put it in this box, and you will click OK. When you click OK, it will automatically move you to number 2. Please notice that for these ones, it's going to go left to right, not up and down. So please make sure that you're going number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6. Once you push OK, then it automatically moves you to the next problem, and you just input your answer. I know that was a quick review today of multiplication, division, and fact families. If you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to reach out. I am happy to answer any questions on any of this. If you are doing the paper-based version, please make sure that you send us a picture so that we can correct it and get it into the grade book. Hope you have a great afternoon. Bye.